In this episode, I'm going to tell you why you should be smiling. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? My name is Michael Sahno, and welcome to the Sea and Land Fitness Podcast, the podcast about professional tactical fitness. This podcast, of course, is brought to you by Sea and Land Fitness, so head on over to www.sandlfit.com. That's www.sandlfit.com, and check out all the stuff that we have so we can help you on your professional tactical fitness journey. This podcast is also brought to you by, who else is it brought to you by? 511, makers of some of the best tactical fitness gear on the planet, as well as tactical gear, which they're already known for. We use their sandbags, so check them out. We're also brought to you by Thorne Supplements, makers of the supplements that I use and I consider some of the best in the industry. Why? Because what's on the outside of the bottle is on the inside of the bottle. So you're getting what you pay for. And third, we are brought to you by RDX Sports, makers of combat sports equipment that I use and that I trust so much that I sell it on my website. Focus pad mitts. I use their boxing gloves and their shin guards for Muay Thai. Some of the best equipment, and it is incredibly reasonably priced. So yeah, so that is that's our sponsors out of the way. Now let's get to the meat. I'm having a little bit of a earwig with my earbud here. Oh, there we go. Good to go. So in the opening, I said you've got to smile more, and then I probably gave you the most the most disturbing smile you have ever seen. It felt disturbing when I made it. So, why am I bringing that up? Why is that the focus of today's podcast? Why is that the focus of today's discussion? Well, I'm going to tell you after I have a sip of this coffee. Hold on just one sec. Peter Madeira, that is for you. So let me take you on a journey. So a couple of weeks ago, I was doing Muay Thai and I was doing all these kicks and I was just having a blast. And long story short, I got injured. I had a psoas injury, which is the muscle. Simply put, it's the muscle that allows you to hinge at the hips, at the waist. When you bend over to pick something up, the psoas muscle connects the spine to the lower body. There are others, but this one's a major one. It takes a ton of stress from repetitive movements that we do every day. So I had hurt myself. Pretty badly and was out for like almost a month. Was doing Muay Thai still, but doing it really light duty. Not doing any of the kicks, not doing any of that stuff, and had also just stopped training. 1 week stopped training, moved into 2 weeks of stopped training, moved into nervousness that I was going to re-injure myself. So a third week, and then pretty much we're at a month of me not training. And I was sitting on the couch and I was talking to my wife and I said, I really need you to kind of get in my ass. I need you to push me because I need to go back to working out. Like as soon as I get done with this podcast, I'm going down and I'm going to do some body squats and some bar work. That's basically doing squats with the bar, but not putting any weight on. Because I want to be careful. I don't want to re-injure, but I want to strengthen up that area. And so that's part of the story. Part of the story is that I injured myself and I had stopped working out. I had stopped exercising. So then what happened? Then I don't know what it is. I freaking hate the internet and I hate YouTube so much because of all those videos on the right side that say, hey, dummy, check out. The algorithm has decided that you should watch this next video because we think you'd enjoy it. So I kind of went down this rabbit hole of doing my best to debunk creatine loading. So that's where people take like 15 to 25 grams of creatine. Now, the normal dosage is 5 grams. So 15 is like, I mean, that's a ton. That's 3 scoops. That's a lot of creatine. 25 is 5 scoops of creatine. You'll gag trying to get that. That's like drinking water with sand in it. So, but people were doing it, and it's interesting because you saw a lot of stuff where people were like, oh, this is the greatest thing. I can't believe I didn't do this sooner. And they were just suffering through this, and they were extolling, they were touting all of the benefits of it. But in reality, you could see by the look on their faces, by the looks in their eyes, that these people were really suffering through this. And it didn't give a lot of confidence to what they were telling you. So what they're telling you wasn't matching what you were seeing in the videos. So I started going through it and I started looking at it and I started looking at dosages of creatine across populations. So what do I mean by populations? I mean different groups of people. So we could break up these populations into male or female. We could also break these populations up into weight. You know, this much takes 5, this much takes 7, this much takes 10. And there were delineations, or differences. So there were some, if you were under, I think it was under 100 pounds, you should take 3. If you're above 100 pounds, you should take 5 milligrams of creatine, milligrams of creatine. So under 100, 3 milligrams of creatine. Over 100, 5 milligrams of creatine, and over 200, you would take 7. It was a big jump. It felt like a big jump. So I decided, I don't know why. There was no reason to take it. Other than the fact that an earwig had gotten in that was telling me, hey, you're not taking enough creatine according to the dosing. Maybe you should up it so that you get the full benefits. Okay, that didn't work that well. So, and this is about 3 weeks into my not working out. About a week ago. Okay. So about a week ago, I had decided, you know what? I'm just gonna up it. I'm a large guy. I'm like 6'1", over 200. So I'm in that higher dosage. And like a dumbass, I went 7. I could take 10. That way I don't have to measure. I could just take 2 scoops. Because somewhere in my genealogy, I am a caveman, probably. Knuckle dragger of some sort. And honestly, it was laziness. I'm going to be totally honest. The reason I skipped from 7 to 5 was so that I didn't have to accurately measure it first thing in the morning. And I just said, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to just do 10. If 7's fine, 10 won't have any negligible impact. So I'm going to tell you right now, it had an impact. It had a horrible impact. It had, and I wasn't even aware of it because it was so sneaky and so subtle. So all last week, I'm feeling this weird nausea that I can't get rid of. So to describe it, it's the kind of nausea, if you've ever gotten sick before and you feel like you're going to get sick again, that's what it feels like, where it's up here in the top of your chest and you're like, it's not the stomach pains and stuff like that, it's that upper nausea. And I was like, me. And the only other time I've got nausea like that outside of actually being, sick, throwing up, was I was hungry. Like I hadn't had enough to eat, and it was hunger. It was the physiological effects of being extremely hungry because I deprived myself of food for so long. So I would feed myself, but it would never subside. The nausea would never subside. The nausea would never go away. Then, oddly, about midway through last week, I had, oh wow, I forgot about that. I had, because I'm going to tell you something else that happened too. I had my left knee started getting swollen, and I needed to ice it to get the swelling to go down, but it felt really like pressury, like there was a ton of pressure inside my left knee. I'm gonna have another sip. Hold on just one sec. Hiccups. So that's one of the one of the dangers of doing a podcast is your throat gets dry and you also get the hiccups sometimes because you're just speaking and speaking and speaking. So all of a sudden my left leg just started swelling up and I started having pain in my left elbow. Okay, what's the first thing you think of? Am I having some kind of cardiac event? Is something going on? Am I having a heart attack, a stroke? But the swelling caused it to go down. And, well, because it's on my left side. So the swelling goes down. I'm like, what is going on with my body? I'm nauseous. I'm swollen. Maybe I'm sick. Maybe I got the flu or something. Then I get swelling, not in my left knee, but in my right knee. And this is where I went, oh my gosh, holy cow. I had weird pains in my finger joints. Like I'd have one at the knuckle of my index finger or my middle finger, or at the main joint of my middle or index finger, but it would be momentary. It would show up and then go away, and I'd be like, that was a weird pain. What is that? So finally I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder if it's the creatine. I wonder if it's the increased dosage of the creatine. Holy crap. So I went and I looked it up, and it causes nausea. High dosages cause nausea. High dosages can lead to joint inflammation because of the movement of creatine helps transport water into cells because creatine wants to use it in its processes. And last night, I think it was, last night I said to myself, I'm gonna go down, and in the morning I'm only gonna have one scoop because my body's pretty on board with creatine. Everything usually is fine with creatine, but I have got to lower that dosage. And I was actually feeling really good last night and excited about it. I woke up this morning. I felt amazing. And then when I drank the solution, so I have this Camelback jug thing, water bottle. And I put water in it to the top. I put 1 scoop of creatine, and since creatine has no flavor, I put 1 packet of the little 4C green tea in it. I cannot tell you how because drinking it before with the 2 scoops, I would drink it and I would get it down and wow, all right, that's over with. But I cannot tell you how satisfying. It's like my body knew this was the right mix. This was the right solution. My body was like immediately like quenched. It was spooky how much it changed everything. Now, what does all of that have to do with what I was talking about? So I had to go to the VA this morning. I had to drive up there for my neuro appointment. As some of you may know, I have an essential tremor. I'm a pistol instructor too, not just a fitness guy. But I'm a pistol instructor with a tremor in this hand. Let's see. Yep, there it is. And I teach people how to shoot at West Point. And the VA is incredibly helpful in ensuring that I can do that job with this tremor. So I go up there and I have routine visits every couple of months. So I'm all healed. My psoas, the muscle in my hips, is healed. That's one. I could feel it. I know I got to work out today. You know, when I woke up, I'm like, I got to work out today. Oh, yeah. I feel good. And then I drank that creatine. Ooh, my body likes this. I had a smile on my face the entire drive up, the entire time I was bopping around at the VA, and the entire drive back down the river to my house. Smiling from ear to ear, I listen to this band called Stick Figure. It's a reggae band. They kind of remind me of Sublime. For those of you, I just totally dated myself. I'm a big Sublime fan. I like some hardcore punk, but I really love reggae. I mean, it just hits me. And I'm grinning like a pig in shit as I'm driving up and down and while I'm at the VA. And the little deli. I think I kind of disturbed the guy at the deli on the drive home. He's because he's very serious in his sandwich making and taking orders. So if you come in a little too hot, with the smiles, it throws him off a little bit. But you cannot believe how amazing it felt to feel good. And because of that, I was smiling. So I'm going to tell you something. As I was smiling, I realized that I was feeling better. That I was continually feeling degrees better. So let's say I get up, I'm feeling good. All right, this is great. I go downstairs. Yeah, all right. Now I'm smiling. And I realize I'm smiling and I start grinning bigger. And then I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. This is great. So there is a cumulative feel good effect from smiling. Um, I know it exists. It clinically, it's known to exist, and I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why you should be smiling as often as possible. Like we have this thing, and I hate this. I'm kind of going through this right now. So I watch a bunch of videos of military veterans from all over. So combat arms, that's what I came from. Um when I was in the Army. So I'll watch, infantry guys, I'll watch some special operations guys, and one of the things that I notice most of the time is that there's a lot of S talking going on right now in that community, in the podcast sphere. So I think that's incredibly unhealthy. Um, there's a really good friend of mine who is a Green Beret. Um, there's another guy who is a senior sergeant in the infantry who's getting ready to retire. And these two guys smile all the time, and we all smile together. So I'm trying to break that paradigm, break that um social phenomena of the military person being so stoic and serious. So there's a time for that. There's a time for stoicism. There's a time for seriousness. There's a time to um not mess around, so to speak. But when it's not that time, you should be goofing off. You should be smiling. You should be enjoying yourself. And I'm going to tell you why. So let's bring this up. So research shows that smiling can positively change your mood by activating brain responses that release mood enhancing chemicals like dopamine, serotonin, as well as endorphins. And it also reduces stress, it reduces the effects of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. So what I think, and I didn't read deep enough into the research, but it just kind of makes sense. So we have what's called the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. And the sympathetic is your fight or flight, and your parasympathetic is your chill. I want to relax. So I know that one way to engage the parasympathetic, excuse me, big hiccup. I know one way to engage the parasympathetic is to breathe in and stick out your belly, and then breathe out and bring your belly towards your spine. Do that a couple of times. You know what I mean? That was like a horrible example if you're watching this. But that will engage, uh, cut off that fight or flight reflex, and bring you into like a really nice state. Another way to do that is to grin from ear to ear, big shit eating grin from ear to ear, and just be, happy. If you're happy, you're not letting stress take over. So one of the things that how smiling can affect your mood is that you experience a neurotransmitter release, and it releases dopamine, as I said, serotonin, and endorphins. Um, but it can also, all right, remember I said parasympathetic, sympathetic? It can also lower your heart rate. Okay. So that is one of the signifiers that you have activated the parasympathetic. And then on top of that, you can encourage others to smile around you. It is a what's it called? A social response. So it will initiate a social response. So if you smile, someone else is going to smile. Have you ever been like out doing something and someone's being all serious and you're like, what do you do? A kid is a perfect example. So little kids sitting there and they're serious. They're terrified of you because you're 6'1", over 200 pounds, and you just said hi. So they are like, oh my gosh. But you go, hey, how's it going? What are you doing? And all of a sudden they like get that little grin out of the corner of their eye. So that is the social response of smiling. But yeah, so basically, I had this smile. Best way to describe it is a smile cascade. I was lucky and blessed enough to have this morning all the things go in the right direction. And because of that, it just made me smile. And as I smiled, my smile started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I would encourage you, even if you're having a bad day, even if you don't feel like smiling, even if you're in pain, try to smile, because I'm telling you, it will help. It will help. It will cause you to have better thoughts in your head. It will cause you to think of things on a more positive note. And yeah, so that's what I got for you. Trying to spread a little bit of goodness and cheer. It's not even the holidays yet, but well, that's one of the things that I learned, and one of the things that my grandma told me, in terms of the social interaction portion of this, is that try to make everyone's day better for having met or interacted with you. And you can do that by smiling. All right, that's all I got for you guys. Hey, as I said, this episode is brought to you by Sea and Land Fitness, www.sandlfit.com. That's www.sandlfit. We do professional tactical fitness. Head on over to our website. I have compiled an article database. You can search it for subjects with all the articles I've written on a wide variety of subjects. And I'm trying to hit those like every 2 weeks, about the same as doing the podcast. So I'll do a podcast, and then the next week I'll do an article, and then so on and so forth. I've also got programs. We've got new programs coming. This little backyard Muay Thai fitness. I've been incorporating a lot of what I've been doing in Muay Thai into my fitness because of it has such a tremendous value when it comes to mobility, which is something we should all be striving for, being more mobile, joint mobile, and just being able to do more with our bodies. So head on over there, check out the merch. We've got Garmin watches, we've got Sunto watches, we've got anything that you can imagine. But yeah, head on over there, check out the podcast, check out the newsletter. Oh yeah, I've got a newsletter that comes out every month. And yeah, check out all that stuff and hop on over and pick up some merch or some programs. And yeah, so we are also brought to you by, I can't forget this, 511 Tactical. We use their sandbags. They're great. You should be using their sandbags and their vests. We use their weighted vests. Love them. Love them, love them, love them. I wore vests when I was in the Army. They were never comfortable, ever. And then I got 511 stuff, put it on, and was like, you sons of guns. Because they really are. You've got this weight on you, and it rides. It doesn't bite into your shoulders and stuff like that. So, and they've also got great sandbags. We use those as well. We're also brought to you by Thorne Supplements. If you look behind me, you can see two of the supplements I take. I take their protein, I take their creatine, I take their BCAAs after I work out for recovery, I take their multivitamin, and I take their curcumin, a ton of stuff. They have a bunch of stuff, a bunch of good stuff, and it's all recognized by nutritionists and doctors throughout the country. So it's usually prescribed by professionals. So head on over to the link in the description below. That'll take you to my dispensary. Everything in my dispensary is 10% off. If there is something you want and it's not in the dispensary, reach out to me, email me, and I'll make sure to put it in so you can get it through me and get a discount. Finally, we're brought to you by RDX Sports. I told you, I use their stuff. I use it for my Muay Thai. I use it for my training, my regular training, the knee raises. I use the focus pad mitts because that sound of them hitting, really, really motivating. So use the link in the description below. Go to the site, get what you want. 10% off with the code in the description below when you check out. We also carry some of their stuff in our store. We carry the focus pad mitts and the boxing gloves. I have not got the boxing gloves in yet, or I've got them in. I haven't got them up on the website, so I'm working on that. So yeah, check that out, and that's all I got for you. All right, honey badgers, out.